What's going on, and welcome into your casual gaming news conversation for this week, November 14th. I'm one of your hosts, Nick. That's Rogan, and this is your weekly gaming news podcast from Co-op 64. Connor has just got a lot of work stuff happening, so we've decided to introduce Rogan on a CGNC episode. You've been on Bonus Pod a couple times, but here you are talking gaming news with me. And it's a light week, dude. It's a light week. Not a lot to talk about in the gaming world.
Yeah, nothing happening. We have nothing to talk about this time around.
It's nuts. How are you doing, my friend? How's your week going? How's life treating you? You doing all right?
Yeah, week's going good. We talked earlier this week about Dispatch. I'm like still thinking about it. I'm kind of like watching. Do you like watch reactions or like let's plays of games that you've beaten just to see like other people's reactions?
Yeah.
I love to do that after after beating a game. I was watching Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny play it, and it's cool to see people like choosing different like things that you chose, like making different decisions and like the way that they even play the gameplay part of the game. I'm like, man, I could have done that and been a little bit more successful. So,
dude,
yeah, man, it's good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. It's a chilly day here in Cincinnati. I woke up, I saw a 3 at the start of the degree point, and I was like, that is too cold for November. I made the joke a couple weeks ago that like fall in Ohio exists for 3 weeks. You get 3 weeks of like 55 to like 45 weather where it's like you can go out, you wear a hoodie, you throw on just a pair of pants, and you're like, oh, I'm cozy, it's comfy. I'm already in like, screw this, give me spring. Like, I like the winter time and I like bundling up, but I'm in my home right now wearing 3 layers just to make sure I'm comfortable. So that's not the best thing that's happening. But what is the best thing that is happening? Actually, before we get into housekeeping, I was ready for a great transition there. Rogan, this is your first time ever on content for us that's not behind Patreon. You've done the spoiler cast for Hades 2. You've done the spoiler cast now for Dispatch. Thank you so much for being on those episodes. For the people that don't know who you are, what's the elevator pitch? What's the like 2 minutes or less? Hey, this is what I do. This is why Nick and Connor blew up my line, or like come on content with us, hang out with us, please, and talk about video games. So who's Rogan?
Rogan, who is Rogan? It's a philosophical question, but I'll try and stay with the content side of things. So I make short form content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, and it's all about indie games and kind of like smaller games, I guess. Like I talk about like the AA stuff, and then the stuff that sits kind of in a gray area where it's like one person thinks this, one person thinks that. Who knows where it sits, you know? And yeah, I just kind of focus my content on those sorts of things and giving smaller games a bit of a platform where I can, and then just like talking about Outer Wilds like weekly at this point.
Dude, I need to play it. Whenever I play it, you will get a text message from me saying like, hey, it'll just be, it's happening. It won't won't have any more context, but it's just like, it's happening.
I'll know what you're referring to in that moment, and I'll be like, yes.
But with that being said, so if there's this trend's been going around of like the 10 games that define you, or like that, or give me just like a couple. Outer Wilds would be the first one I would think of when I think of you and your content. It is the Outer Wilds, but is there a couple more, like 2 more that come to mind of who Rogan is when it comes to the gaming space, so the audience can know who you are a little more?
Yeah. Okay. So I think the first one would probably be Hotline Miami. That's the first sort of indie game I can point to that like really got me on this indie game train. Like back in, I think 2012 is when it came out. And like ever since then, like I've always played AAA games. I still do all the time. I just talk mostly about indie games. And that's the one that showed me that like small games can like pack a big punch and almost be as impactful as like a big experience. My second one would probably be a little bit unexpected to some people, but maybe Halo 2? It would be either Halo 2 or Halo 3. But I'll probably stick with Halo 2. Man, when that game came out, it was probably the first game where I was so looking forward to it, or the first one I can remember where I was so looking forward to it that when I was at school, I was thinking about it and I was like, I had a conversation with my dad that morning. I'm like, Dad, you gotta go to Walmart. You gotta pick this game up for me. I'm begging you. And he was like so wishy-washy about it. He's like, nah, I don't know. Like, do you deserve a game right now? And little did I know, I got home that day and it was waiting for me on the table with a little Master Chief figurine, like right
Nice.
beside it. Maybe it was like a first day thing that you got when you bought the game, and that's just like a memory that's burnt into my head. And then I had like a group of like my brother and two other buddies who would just like sit on the couch, play couch. Uh, well, co-op with them, but also like we would just play CTF,
Yeah.
like nonstop. Like those are some of my fondest memories.
Dude, for me, it's funny, and you're showing your age a little bit. I'll show mine. Where for me,
Yeah.
that's Halo Reach. It is me, my
Hell
buddy
yeah.
Sam, his little brother, our buddy Connor. Not Connor, who's the co-host of the show, but just one of our other friends. Where we would just play capture the flag, 2v2s, utilizing some of the tools that Reach gave you with the tactical sprint, the jetpack on some of these multiplayer
Yeah.
maps. We would. I like when I think about my most played video games of all time. I always say like Black Ops 3. I put in hundreds of hours on that zombies mode, and then Valorant and Fortnite. But the game that like I don't discuss enough is Halo Reach. And so we got
Yeah.
a Halo community night coming up here in a bit. Maybe I'll shoot you a text and try to get you
Nice.
a part of it, because
Please.
like we're gonna be hopping into the Master Chief Collection and having a ball, dude. It's gonna be a great time.
Wow. Okay, that's good timing. I've been wanting to like hop back in and play
Dude,
some multiplayer, so that's awesome.
yeah, man. It is a consistent on the channel thus far where I've played basically a majority of Halo 1 Combat Evolved. It was my first time ever beating Halo Combat Evolved. I beat 2 and 3 growing up in Reach, but I never beat 1. So I finally beat 1 at the start of last year. Then we played 2 at the beginning of this year where I just wanted to play Halo
Mhm.
2. What a video game.
Yeah.
And then me and
So
Brady
good.
during our co-op-a-thon where we beat 3 co-op games in one weekend. Him and I sat down and played Halo 3 together for the longer game of this co-op-a-thon. And Halo 3, dude, holy freaking shit, dude. It's
So good.
awesome. Finish
So
the
good.
fight. And speaking of awesome, hop over to patreon.com/coop64 so you can support this show, allow us to do cool things like having Rogan on episodes, being able to go and support and keep the lights and mics on here at coop64. The people over on Patreon, your support over there, the $5 that you give for bonus pod, or the $10 that you give for recollecting and the Coop 64 podcast, the $25 that you give over literally just to like support, and it really does mean the world to us, and we're very, very thankful. And it's unbelievable the way you guys have shown up in the past. Now looking at it, year of Co-op 64's Patreon, it's been awesome, and that we're in November and you guys have continuously shown up and shown out, so thank you so much over there. You can, like I said, get bonus pod, if you want more Rogan content with Co-op 64, Hades 2, Dispatch, those episodes are over there on Patreon right now hanging out, and they're freaking awesome. I know I liked the Dispatch podcast we did a couple nights ago. It was awesome, don't get me wrong. I think that
Great.
Hades 2 podcast though is like one of the best podcasts I've ever been a part of. Like, it was so
It was
much
so
fun.
fun.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. And so
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Hades 2, go and watch it. And if you're someone that's like, I'm never gonna play Hades 2, I think that Rogan and I might give a good enough pitch on this game of how much we enjoy it that like you might actually get convinced to play Hades 2. So just
Yeah.
watch the fucking podcast. It's great over there. Also, we have our Ghost of Yote spoiler cast is going up soon. I'm over halfway through this game. I've been like, this week has been dispatch for a couple hours, but then other than that, just playing Yote. And here's the thing: I don't know if I know you do play some AAA games, and I
Yeah.
love the videos that you've done on that. Being like, I don't only play indie games, by the way.
Yeah.
But Yote, I don't know if you played the original or Tsushima, but the open world dynamic of like a bird just starts going across the screen and pointing you off direction. I'm like, I gotta follow the bird now. It's been hard
Gotta
to
follow the bird. Yeah.
it's been hard to get through this game and not want to go and do all the side stuff, because the side stuff is so much
Yeah.
fun. But the spoiler cast for Yote is going to be a bonus pod. Towards the end of the year, looking ahead, we have grading Xboxes, Nintendos, and PlayStation's years. We have the Game Awards betting special that we'll do, hosted by myself, and we'll bring in a bunch of people, and maybe Rogan will be on that too. And it'll be a great time, and you're not going to want to miss that if you are excited about the Game Awards. It's the best time of the year. Little brief housekeeping: if you are getting this show either Monday right away, or like at 9 a.m. when it posts for everyone, or if you're over on Patreon, I will be reacting to the Game of the Year nominees as I do every year at noon on
Oh,
Monday.
nice.
So excited. I can't wait to see
Yeah,
what happens. I've already gotten Rogan's 6 guesses. By the way, if you want that, you got to watch the Dispatch Spoilercast and check out the front of
gotta
it.
watch it.
It's a what's
Yeah.
up. But yeah, that's going to be awesome to go and sit down with and be a little piece of housekeeping. On the Twitch side of things, we have on Monday, Cyberpunk. I got to say this now because and it'll be part of the other show documents, but I'm just reminding myself Cyberpunk will be 8 to midnight. We got Nick at Night City on Monday. It's a
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's good stuff. The boys worked on that
Is that
one.
your first time playing it?
Yes. So we hopped
Nice.
in. We hopped in on Monday with Connor Brady cosplaying, and this is where the news aspect of it comes into play. The boys will not be part of that stream. So they are going to be. They obviously their work schedule is taking over in a great way. They're getting off work. They're coming over, and we're shooting the co-op podcast that needs to go up in a couple weeks. And so just like the timeline of all the stuff, that's the only time we could fit that in. And so we're like, as always, if we're ever thinking like we're taking something away, we always got to give a little bit more somewhere. And basically, all you're getting is just more streaming. We're not even really taking a stream. Like you're just getting more. So it's great. So Nick at Night City, 4 hours of streaming on Monday. It's gonna be awesome. Then Tuesday and Thursday, we're back 7 to 10 Eastern with Final Fantasy X. I was telling Rogan right before this, I'm literally dreaming about this combat system right now. I'm all in. It's awesome. And then Wednesday, Connor is continuing his playthrough of Batman Arkham Asylum. It's been awesome over there. Discord, join the Discord, over 2,500 members. Like I said, we got a Halo community night next month in about a week's time. I think in a week and 2 days, we got a Battlefield 6 community night where we're just going to be playing Battlefield 6, hopping in. I don't know what this is exactly going to be, but what I know it's going to be is awesome. We're just going to be playing with a bunch of different groups. I will definitely be there. The plan is for Connor Brady to try to be part of it. Like I said, though, with her schedule, it's all over the place. And real quick, before we keep it going, shout out to Rogan, shout out to Jacob for the amount of text messages that these two have received in the past like 3 weeks for just, hey, we might need you for this or that or the next thing. And you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. But yeah, join in the Discord and be part of the community. It's super awesome. 2,500 members. Talk about what your sports team is doing. Talk about WWE. Talk about taking a long walk and seeing a bird that you think is pretty and you take a photo and toss it into the art area. Like there's so much to do in that Discord. You're going to want to be part of it. It's in the description down below. Merch, co-op64store.com. Review us over on Apple Podcasts. And if we mess something up during this episode, please set the record straight in the comments down below where you can go and get it shouted out on the next episode if we mess something up. The last episode, most people just wanted to remind us of a couple things. One, RGG Studios makes a whole bunch of games. Insomniac's not the only one that's pumping out a bunch of games. And two, a lot of people talked about their Radiohead album rankings because we talked about Radiohead at the start of the album. Rogan, what's your top three? Top three off the rip. Go.
Top 3 in rainbows, a moon-shaped pool, and Hail to the Thief.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. You want to know what else is interesting? Headline: Valve announces a new Steam console, controller, and VR headset. This is Chris going over at VGC. Quote, Valve has announced 3 new products: a VR headset called the Steam Frame, a new controller called the Steam Controller, and a console-like unit called the Steam Machine. Valve says it plans to ship all 3 products in the same regions they currently ship Steam Deck. They will start shipping in early 2026 with specific launch timing and pricing to be confirmed later. Quote, we've been super happy with the success of the Steam Deck, end quote, said Gabe Newell, president of Valve. Quote, and PC gamers have continued asking for even more ways to play all the great titles in their Steam libraries. Our work over years on other hardware and even more importantly on Steam OS has enabled Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame to do just that, end quote. The Steam Machine is a 6-inch console-like cube with, quote, over 6 times the horsepower of the Steam Deck, end quote, which is designed to allow PC games to be played on the TV. The machine is 1 gigabyte Ethernet, DisplayPort 1.4, and HDMI 2.0, as well as 1 USB-C port and 4 USB-A ports. It also comes in 512 gigabytes and 2 terabyte storage options. Its power supply will be built in, meaning it won't have a power brick, end quote. Once again, this is everywhere right now. If you want to go and get a great read from the boys over at VGC, go give that a click. There you go into details on all the specs of all of these types of things. I know other media has gone hands on with it at this point. There's a lot to it, but we still have so many questions. But the first and most important question is Rogan, the Steam machine. It has been
Yeah.
announced. Are you in on it? Are you excited for this product? Do you want one in your house?
Yes, I do actually. Like this TV right here, I sometimes I have a gaming laptop and I sometimes take it and I plug it in through HDMI and it works, but I would rather it be a little bit more intuitive and have something just there. And this is like the perfect thing for that. A couple things. I love the commitment to the name The Steam Machine. I don't know about you. It's like it's kinda corny, but like, I don't know. I'm like, "That's awesome. That's
It
that's pretty
works.
sweet."
It works.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Um, and, and yeah, like, it seems so it's, like, 6 inches, they said,
yep.
and I don't know, in pictures, like, I'm not really too sure how to, like, scale this thing, but it seems smaller, like, a lot smaller than I thought something like this would be. So I guess that's, like, kinda perfect for a home entertainment system. Yeah,
Totally.
dude, I'm so in on this.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking over at my Xbox Series X, and I think that it's literally like a foot tall and like about 6 inches wide or 5 inches wide.
Yeah.
So it's going to be about a chopped in half Xbox Series X, which is
Yeah.
very, very fascinating. I'm in on this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? As somebody that
Oh,
just
sick.
like does not like playing PC games, mainly due to the fact that I don't want to be at this desk. I'm at this desk so much of my day. And I know that there's a ton of people that work from home that also have their PC set up right next to where they're working their desk job. And they don't want to be at that desk either. They just want a
Yeah.
console that is plug and play on their big screen in their entertainment center, a home theater setup in their living room. That's where they want to play their games. They also just want it to work. Whenever you're talking about PC anything, sometimes there's just bullshit. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's just stuff that goes wrong. It doesn't just work. The fact is, the reason that the PlayStation 5, the reason that the Nintendo Switch 2 sells hand over fist consoles is because it's such an easy sell to grandma and grandpa that wants to buy a little Timmy one, be like, hey, they're going to be able to understand it because it's just plug and play. It's easy.
Yeah.
And then you also have the aspect of exclusives and what that means and where we're going from there. The interesting aspect of this is I want one. I've sat with this information for a couple days and it's like, why do I want one? Because
Yeah.
I don't have a robust Steam library as of right now. I don't have a Steam Deck either. I'm not in the handheld space in a major way outside of my
Mm.
Switch 2. With that being said, I like the idea of Steam sales. I like the idea of playing games with my friends on Steam where it's easy, good, let's go. Like Deadlock is a prime example of Valve's it's not an MMO, but it's their like action tactical shooter type game that also has certain like MMO or hero shooter type stuff alongside it. And it's like I would be playing that on a controller in my PC setup, but I never wanted to boot that up because I just don't really have a Steam usage at all in my life.
Yeah.
But now you put my ass on the couch, you put me with just a headset that I'm easy, good to go, and it works with basically any controller, is what they said. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in. This is easy. This is a good sell. I'm about it. I want something like this. And I think that I have like one of the least use cases for this. And that's where I'm
Right.
just like, this thing is going to sell. So that now just like
Yeah.
moving on of like, what's your expectations for this product? Do you think that they are going into this being like, this is going to be a massive boon for us where we're selling not just the 4 million that the Steam Deck sold, but we're going to be in the console market where we're selling 20 million consoles, 30, or you can look at what obviously no one's selling Nintendo Switch numbers or PS2 numbers, but like a large,
Yeah.
you go to the 360 generation, 80 million for 360, 80 million for the PlayStation 3. Where are you landing on like how successful this thing is going to be? And what do you think success is for a console like this? Is it that large number?
Yeah, for me, I think a move like this because there's like Valve is kind of drip feeding hardware, but they're kind of doing the opposite thing as Xbox. It's almost like they're putting out all the hardware and hoping that the people come in, whereas Steam has so many users, and now they're just like, okay, we have the people, let's bring the hardware in to sort of expand this ecosystem and allow people to like bring their libraries anywhere, whether that's like with the Steam Deck or just like in their home entertainment system or whatever. I think their goal, like they're just building out that ecosystem with all these pieces of hardware, and I think they're just like hoping to expand that. I don't think this has an expectation to sell like a PlayStation 5 does. Like I think they're hoping it's going to sell quite a bit and probably maybe on the same level as something like a Steam Deck or maybe a little bit more. But I think Valve is completely okay as long as you're playing on Steam in a lot of ways. So that's kind of my read on it. But the biggest thing for me is like, it is crazy how successful Steam is and how many users are on Steam. And Valve doesn't even have a product that you can kind of like natively play in your home entertainment system. That's
Yep.
crazy. Like this is just going to grow the number of players that are going to be like playing on Steam like by quite a bit.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be like really really exciting for them. And not only that, sorry to go on a
you're
tangent,
good.
but like I also think this is great for devs who are putting games out on Steam. Like there's a lot of indie devs out there that just like have these tiny games that can only really be on Steam. The certification for consoles is a lot more rigorous in a lot of ways, and these indie devs are going to be putting these games out on Steam, and now they have like a whole bunch more people filtering into that ecosystem playing on stuff like their TVs. It's great.
Yeah, I think that's a great call too of like what this is going to do for those dev teams that need.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Oh, it's just on Steam, and that's where it ends. Or it's Steam
Mhm.
and PS5, and it's like to go
Yeah.
because you sometimes need to. Well, now for Xbox, you need to purchase the dev kit, and that dev kit is expensive, and it's so expensive that if you're a small dev team and you don't have the cash flow coming in on the front end, it's like, okay, well, like
Yeah.
I can't do that in the first place. And so I'm just going to put it on Steam and hope and pray that it works out. And this is a great move for those types of teams. I think that the most interesting aspect of this whole thing, though, is obviously the way that it turns the console market everywhere else. I mentioned at the start of this
Mhm.
podcast that in the housekeeping that we're going to do Xbox and Nintendo and PlayStation's grading at the end of this year. But when you're talking about console manufacturers at this point, it's like, okay, this is going to be a real thing. They're going to try to, I don't know whether it's compete per se, like 100%, but you're entering the console marketplace. So you are immediately going to have some competition and try to get a leg up in certain ways. The way you're doing that is the
Sure.
Steam marketplace here.
And
But
like, sorry to cut you off, but like one thing I'm asking myself is like, when do we consider Valve a first party studio? Like, we're kind of there, right?
so
Like they make exclusives. They now make this console type thing. I know it's technically a PC, but it's a console.
we
You
well,
know?
and the other side of it is when are we going to just consider Xbox a third party studio because they're
Yeah,
I feel like the directions are completely opposite of like how this is going. Where
totally.
like one of
Yeah,
them is coming out with the understanding too of like Valve is making hand over fist money. Don't get me wrong. Like Steam is just so immensely successful and they're able to go and just every purchase that's made on there, take their little piece, enjoy their money and move on. They're able to go and produce the best gaming sales ever. Period, bar none. It is fanciful when you see the Witcher 3 complete edition for $3 over there, and it's like, how do you do that? How do you pull that off? Like,
yeah,
it's awesome. And so you have that on one side, and then on the other side, you have a Microsoft ecosystem that is asking $30 per not you owning the game, and you're spending a monthly subscription, and that's tough. That's a tough sell for people as of right now, let alone when you can go and get a box that is next to it and be like, which one do you want to utilize? Well, I want to use the one where I can play even like I'm still going to be able to most likely, I would assume, boot up Game Pass if I even wanted to on a box like this. I assume it's not going to be native, but it's still a PC basically, so
yeah.
you should be able to open an app like that. And then, or compared to Xbox, where it's like, what's the Xbox offering? And the answer is, they're just a great third party at this point because they don't even have major exclusives. I think if we bring in the exclusivity conversation, though, we gotta let's start here. It's coming out early next year. If you had to put a date on it, like, are you expecting March? That's about where I'm at when they say springish next year, March.
Yeah,
March,
March, April, is somewhere around there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are we playing Half-Life 3 in March or April next year?
dude. I was so I don't want to say I was surprised that they didn't announce it with this, because I do think maybe it would just like kind of pull away from what they were talking about here, which is just like the hardware, right? But I could see like this beat being sort of like the reveal beat of the things, right? And the next time that they talk about it in a major way and go sort of like in depth with it, I could see this as an opportunity to just say Half-Life 3. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe like even the Game Awards are pretty soon. I don't know. It seems like a pretty good time. Like we'll see.
It feels at this point that Half-Life 3 is worst kept secret. There's so many rumors that come up
Yeah.
every single day about it. None of them felt real until now. Like it always felt like it's a pipe dream until we're at the point where it's like you kind of want to launch with a killer app. You want to launch with something that
Yeah.
like gets me in on it, right? Like Half-Life Alyx comes out with their VR that they did a few years back in 2021, I want to say. And it's like, cool, that's interesting, that's exciting. I'm not a huge VR guy, but that's such a good app and is known
Yeah.
as basically the best VR game ever for a lot of people. That's like, I want to hop in. Half-Life is just such a good brand for the hardcore gaming audience where I don't expect Half-Life 3 to carry the same cachet that a lot of major franchises do nowadays. Well, like, I think that BioShock is a bigger brand than Half-Life is because it's just been so long. Even though it's been a long time
Yeah.
since BioShock, I still think that it's leaps and bounds different where it's like, I don't see every single day when we're in our comments and you're in your comments, nobody's talking about Half-Life 2 in a major way compared to like some of the latest and greatest that we've had in the past 15-ish years. With that being said, it's still a unicorn. It's still so mythical that like you're
Yeah.
telling me I'm not gonna go and pick one of these up and play it. And sure, it's gonna be on Steam, and sure, it's on your PC already, but it's like, but I want to play it on my couch anyways, so let me play it on my couch and we can work it from there and do that instead and rock
Yeah.
that because at the end of the day, Half-Life 3, it's not going to sell a ton, but it's going to get the gamers fired up. It's going to get the people going. And I think that
Yeah.
there's no better time than the Game Awards. I also am at the point where 2 Game Awards ago, and now we're entering it being 3. It's the Christopher Judge. He's standing there for a long time. He's going long on his speech, and then finally Keighley gets the mic back in his hands, and he makes the joke because they were giving away a Steam Deck every minute of the Game Awards. He's like, "Yeah, I think Christopher Judge was trying to give out a few more Steam Decks or something." Like, great joke, great beat, but that moment has stuck in my head for so long that Keighley has a good relationship with Steam and Valve,
Yeah.
and they've partnered up before. I could easily see Keighley knocking on the door and be like, "Hey, we're gonna have 110 million people watch this thing minimum, probably closer to 150, maybe even 200 this year after the year that just happened, where you get Witcher 3, Elden Ring, Nightreign, Intergalactic. You can go on and on from last year." If you have that amount of numbers, I know Valve can do their own thing, and they just did their own thing. This is a whole news story. What happened on
Yeah.
a random Wednesday? Like it just it blows up the whole console space. I think that you can't pay for that amount of timeshare. Like you can't pay for that mind share on a stage like that. I would put many con bucks down, many co-op coins down that we are going to be getting
Nice.
Half-Life 3 on the Game Awards stage. And I would almost bet like anything. I
Yeah.
feel feeling confident about Half-Life 3 should not be in the same conversation. That should not exist
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But here we are. And then the main question too is like, okay, we got this console. We don't have the date. We don't have the price. So we
Yeah.
have 2 more beats, and I do think the 2 beats are Half-Life and price/pre-order day. Hey, it's gonna be this much, it's gonna be go. When I say the Steam Machine's price is, what is your answer to fill in that blank?
Yeah, that's a hard question because it's always like I always like say a price and it's maybe $150 more than whatever I say.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like so did they release the full specs for this sort of
I
thing? They
think
didn't talk about
I
sort
think
of everything that's in it,
so.
did they?
We know it's computer wise. Computer wise, it is about a 4060.
Okay.
That is what's out there. That's the number I've heard tossed around there. Digital Foundry's
Yeah.
got their hands on it. They have a great video. I've
Nice.
not watched it yet. I've had multiple people at me and say, "Watch this fucking video." I've not had the time. Family's in town. I'm sorry, but I've heard
Yeah.
4060. That's the word on the street. And if that's the word on the street, I think it's a rack. I think that this is $1,000 USD. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I hate to say it, you're in Canada, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than
It's
$1,000.
like 4K.
Yeah, but 10 grand. But yeah, no, I think that it's going to be a bit more expensive up there, and
Yeah.
so I go around 1,000. But also, the question is like a console thing, a console costing $1,000 feels like it's too much. And I know that this is a PC, but it's also a console. This is a console. This is made for
Yeah.
console players. You are trying to get people that have a great PC library already over on Steam. Where do you think that they can go with it though, price wise? Do you think that maybe they can go on the lower end, or does 1,000 USD sound right to you?
I think 1,000 USD morally does not sound right to me, but it sounds realistic to me,
Yeah,
you know? Like I think but I also think like I don't know, that would I think if they can get it under by a little bit, like if they can hit the $800 mark, I think it sounds a lot better than 1 grand, you
yeah.
know? Um, I think they're gonna try to get it in the triple digits, but it's gonna be like very close to that 1,000 mark. I think you're kind of I think you're pretty close.
Uh, you brought up a great point though. They just want people in their ecosystem. They just want people
Yeah,
playing their games on this marketplace. And I obviously it had already been discussed. Like PlayStation took a loss for a little bit of time there. They
yeah,
on their console, and that immediately goes and raises the red flag of like, oh yeah, you can do that. You can take a loss for a little bit on the manufacturing side because you want people in that marketplace. You want them buying 3 controllers and
yeah,
Miles Morales and Demon Souls day one and buying a bunch of other shit that they don't need because it has it's $500. And when people
yeah,
see, I still believe that 499.99 USD is, you go anything above that, it is shocking for people. That's a lot of money. That is,
yeah,
oh shit, this is expensive. Like $500, very expensive. Don't get me wrong. I was a college
yeah,
student when I bought my PS5, and seeing that number go out of my bank account was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money.
yeah,
But I really do think that like still you are not getting this mass market appeal when you come out with a console that is, I know between tariffs and I know between current marketplace conditions where it's like, yeah, you see the Xbox is 650 right now. A 5-year-old console is costing 650 for the Series
that's
X.
wild.
Like,
The Series X?
yeah, the
Wow.
PS5 is 550 nowadays. Like, it just keeps on going up, and so where do we get the comfy price where it's like, I'm trying to like think about like young Nicky Two Shoes in college where he's like,
Yeah,
can he do 700? Is 700 really a good price for this? Is 800, does the difference between 7 and 800 matter that much to consumers? And
yeah,
does the difference between 6 and 1,000, like 600, fuck ton of money, 999.99, fuck ton of money.
fuck ton of money,
There's
yeah.
no getting around it. So
Yeah.
if you had to place your bet though, we get this price announced. What's it going to cost on your bet? Are you taking my prediction of $1,000, or are you going higher or lower?
I'm gonna go with 799 US.
Yep.
Where does the I know this is like a hard comparison to make, but where does the ROG Xbox Ally X
That's
sit US
that's a grand.
USD?
That's a grand for the big
That's a
boy.
grand.
And for
Yeah.
the little one, it's 600. I want to say. I
Yeah.
think that like,
And those are like premium products
yeah,
in my opinion. And this is maybe getting there, but I think they want this in living rooms. Like if they could if yeah, if they could get it to 7.99, people are going to be unhappy,
Yep.
100%. Like that, people are going to be like, this is so expensive. But I do think that they will still sort of like meet or even exceed the expectations for sales on this if they can land it around there.
I'm going to ask you a fastball question though. Of
Please.
you're getting in the console market. You're getting in the console. This once again, I think that we're both in the pay on those side that this is getting Valve in the console market. That's what they are
Yeah.
doing with this move. If you're in the console market, why wouldn't you get a PS5? And I can do the math of Steam sales and just having one, and it's nice and it's easy, and it's another option to go and play some of these indie titles that aren't on PS5 day one. Like,
Yeah.
is Hades 2 going to be on PS5 by the time this thing comes out? If not, guess what? I'm going to be in the same way that for the Switch 2, I was preaching, hey, pick up a Switch 2. Hades 2 is basically an exclusive. Buy it. If that's still the case, it's like, yeah, I freaking go over to Steam, pick up Hades 2. It's awesome. Like, where's the juice? And is the answer just it's Half-Life 3 and you go from there? Like you have
Yeah.
a killer app day one that you can play only on a Steam system, and whether that's and if you're just a gamer that wants to hop in, this is a hell of a lot cheaper than a PC, so you go from there. But like I feel like there's so many people that are like, this is cool, but also if this is more expensive than a PS5, I'm just gonna get a PS5.
Yeah. Yeah, like the thing about PlayStation, it's kind of funny, is that, like they have the sort of historical context of being a entertainment system that you attach to your TV in your living room
Yep.
or whatever, you know? And I think that really helps it out. Like the brand of PlayStation really helps it out. With this, I agree with you. Like Steam is it's a PC product. Like, and it's still, I don't think has gotten to a place where it is kind of like anything more than that. I think this is the thing that's going to help them kind of expand their brand a little bit and sort of like their brand identity and how people perceive the brand. And like, if this thing sells well, I really do think that this could be something that like a lot of people are telling each other about. And the people who are non-gamers who have that PlayStation 5, again, like more casual people who are just buying like the Call of Duty
Yeah.
every year and then like maybe FIFA or whatever, like those are the people that are like buying a PlayStation and just like not even thinking about the peripheral of what's happening in the games industry. Who knows, maybe if this sells well enough, like those people sort of like
Hop
pick
in.
these things up, and then they're like, yeah, I can buy games for like way cheaper on Steam sometimes when those like sales go on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is like a brand move just as much as it is like a business move.
I also think about going back to, let's just say 2013 ish, where people are buying their Xbox One or PlayStation 4, and they're like, well, my buddies are playing over here. How often nowadays do people have PCs and they're in that ecosystem? And like, I could just think about like being a kid and like, my buddy Sam up the street's got a PC, and it's like, well, I want one of those. But I
Yeah.
looked at my parents and I'm like, can I get one? And they're like, no, that's $2,000. We don't have that.
Yeah.
But we can
Yeah.
get you a Steam machine that runs everything that Sam's PC runs, and you're able to go and play and do
Yeah.
that. And it's like the way the PCs are taking over the conversation it is infecting the console market already so much in the conversation of people growing up. They're
Yeah.
watching their favorite streamers. They want a PC. They want in on that ecosystem. Here's your gateway drug. Here's your answer off the rip. I do think that there's some of that conversation too that can be had where the answer, and this is where I've ended up with this. This is going to be successful not because of one reason. It is death by 1,000 cuts. It is
Yeah.
they are going to, hey, Steam sales. That's great. I want that. Hey, I already have a Steam library, and I want to go and be able to play games with my significant other on the couch and on the TV and start doing that more. Boom. This makes sense for you. Hey, I want a couple indie games that aren't there. Hey, I haven't played games in 20 years, and I loved Half-Life 2. Half-Life 3 is coming out. I also, and people are saying Half-Life 3, and I totally think Half-Life 3 can exist on this and would make sense. I don't think that there's a 0% chance that Portal 3 exists and that it's going to come
Dude,
out.
I was just gonna say that. Dude, I would freak out. Like that for me is my Half-Life 3 is Portal 3.
Same.
Yeah.
I've been a huge person banging the drum. Whenever I get asked what's the best game ever, I always say I have no idea, but I'll give you a few answers, and I'll always toss 5 or 6 games. Portal 2 is the one that I will always toss out there too. It's an easy answer, like, yeah, this is just one of the best pieces of media ever. And I do think that Portal actually has more of a fan base and an audience that wants to hop in on the next one than Half-Life. I think that sure, both are hardcore gaming properties, but like Portal 2 is such a PC game even to today, where like it's funny. I always use Sam as like the example of like a friend because my childhood best friend's name is Sam. This is actually a story about actual Sam with his now fiance, where they started dating and he broke out the old Xbox, and the first thing that they did of gaming together was play Portal 2 together. It's like it still has that mind share of like, oh yeah, this is super fun and a great co-op experience, great single player experience. Go. I think that it has a better, like if I'm at Valve and I want this thing to succeed, I'm saying deadlock day one. Let's actually get it out the door. Let's fully get this thing on everywhere because it was awesome for the people that played it. Let's get Half-Life 3 out the door, and because we've had this idea and this is going to do it, and we're going to go and bring this back. And then you one more thing basically and say, if we want, I would not move mountains to play Half-Life 3. I would move mountains to play Portal 3. I would do whatever it like. And once again, do I want a Portal 3? I don't even know. Portal 2 is perfect. So I'm happy. I'm satisfied. But like, I would do anything to go back to Aperture Science one last time and experience that gameplay because it's basically perfect. And so if the Game Awards this year, it really comes down to it. I think that Valve is going to be a major player when it comes to the announcement side of things, and it's going to rip.
I would love that,
dude. So what? You brief answers. What would your hype level be for a Half-Life 3 being announced? Because like you said, you're not really a Half-Life guy, but I know you also like cool video games. So would you be like, I'm going to play Half-Life 3, or is it, oh, that's cool, I'm going to move on, whatever, go from there?
Yeah, like, so I wouldn't say I'm like not a Half-Life guy. I'm just like, it's come and gone for me. Like it like I was so hyped for it when I played it. Dude, I played it with like the orange box when it came out in 2007. And I played through all the episodes, and like I was really hyped for a next one for like probably years after that. But it's almost like the Hollow Knight Silk Song sort of scenario, except if Silk Song was like never announced and like kind of like pushed into oblivion, right? Like, and it didn't come out this year, and it still didn't like 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now. So like, I think my hype for it is just in a pretty neutral place, and I think I'm just looking forward to it because a lot of other people are looking forward to it. But I'm the same way. Like I would be so much more hyped for a Portal 3. Like I would freak out.
Real quick, they didn't just announce the Steam Machine, which obviously is the big piece of hardware that I think that when you look to Co-op 64, when you look to a show like this, that's the main coverage. That's the beat of the day, is talking about that. But they also announced a controller and a headset. Let's just real quick on the controller. Have you seen this thing? What do you think of it? Where are you at with the Steam controller?
Yeah, I don't want to use this controller at all. Like I it's got like the functionality, like the trackpad functionality on it. It just looks like really uncomfortable to hold for that reason. I don't know, maybe like if I get hands on it, I feel a little bit differently, but like I love my Steam Deck. And this thing is like basically a Steam Deck if it just didn't have a screen and it was bunched in. I think I'm okay with playing on my Steam Deck and how it feels because of the convenience aspect of it. But if I'm sitting at my computer or I'm sitting at the Steam machine on my TV, I'm getting the Xbox Series controller like every single day of the week. Like it's just, that's the best controller, most comfortable controller in my opinion. And like I'm not looking for the convenience aspect of having a handheld, and I don't think the handheld feels particularly great. It's like serviceable enough for me to sit on my couch and play it in front of me, you know. So yeah, I don't want to hold this thing.
I'm
What
I'm
about you?
I'm with you completely. I will
Yeah.
never buy. I might buy one to do content with. Of like, this is what this is. Does this work? Does it like? We've done many keep five cut fives with controllers before. It's like, okay, we can toss that in there and let's try it for a couple
Yeah.
hours and
We're
make it a
cutting
pity.
this one.
Yeah, exactly. Let's buy one just so we can in a keep five cut five cut
Yeah.
it right. But
Yeah.
like I do think that outside of that, it's like I don't care for it. This looks ugly. It like and the fact that it is compatible with Xbox controllers and stuff like that for the Steam machine, it's like we got enough of those lying around. They're the best controller format. That or the
Yeah.
Switch 2 controller, Pro controller. I love both those things at
Oh
this point.
yeah.
Where it's like either of
Yeah.
those, I'm going to go and utilize. I'm never going to go and I'm legitimately never going to utilize this Steam controller because it's basically perfected on the Series X at this point.
Yeah.
Period, bar none.
Agreed.
VR.
Yeah.
Are you at all a VR guy? Does this product remotely speak to you? At all?
Um, I'm not a VR guy, but I will say I do appreciate their commitment to it. And from what I've read, I could be wrong. It's got like some native functionality where like you could use it without hooking it up to a PC.
Yep.
That for me is getting to a place where VR is becoming more accessible. I don't think VR is very accessible at all right
Yep.
now. And I think that is the sort of like main barrier to entry is like I can't just throw this thing on and just like jump right in. I do think that when the functionality is all there, I'm assuming it's not super powerful when you're in that mode, but it's a step toward progress, and I appreciate that. Especially when they're putting games out like Half-Life Alyx a couple of years ago, and it's like considered one of the best VR games ever. Like they have the capability to make great VR games, and although I'm not sold on VR right now, I do like that Valve is committed to sort of pushing it forward to a place where accessibility is like the priority. That's what it seems to me.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm about them taking the shot. It's not a journey
Yeah.
I'll be there for, but I'm like Connor texted me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I'm like, "I'll do it if there's something to talk about." Like we're not
Yeah.
like our both of our content is not. I don't think anyone's looking to be like, okay, like I need these guys to step in for the VR space because I'm really excited about it. This thing is going to
Yeah.
sell to the enthusiast audience at whatever price it could be $1,000, it could be $2,000, it could be $2,500, and it will sell to an enthusiast audience. Like there are people that want this
Yeah.
type of thing. Also, my understanding is the tech. There's not a ton of tech in the device, meaning that like there's a lot of it is through the PC and like just the way that it goes in, basically Bluetooth in a screen in front of you and everything. And that sounds tempting because it's not going to be this big chunky piece of hardware that's all strapped to your
Yeah.
head. With that being said, I, as somebody that adores Beat Saber and adores some of the VR experiences that I've had, I'm out on it. Not for me. We've gone
Yeah.
long on the story, but I gotta mention it. I gotta bring it up. It is the Xbox of it all. There's been so many rumors of the next generation Xbox is going to be this. It's going to be a PC in your home, and the way I see it is, it's over for Xbox. Valve is here first. They're gonna most likely do it better, I assume, than what, because you also just have Steam perfectly there, good to go. Um, what's your reading on this? Like, does this do like? Are you still? We're definitely getting the next Xbox, and this is like, or are they gonna go more the way of third party? Where are you at with this, Rogan?
Yeah, I think it's super interesting because it's almost like they're converging on the same place. Like Steam, Valve, and Microsoft are converging on the same place, just from different directions. Like Valve has the software and they're getting into the hardware, whereas Microsoft has the hardware and they're like going more to like the software PC sort of thing. Um, it's like it's really hard to say. I like a lot of Xbox's offering, but Xbox is so closely tied to obviously Microsoft and they call the shots, right?
Yeah.
And if it's like not performing, then it's, it could be downhill from there. So like I with Xbox, I'm sort of like it's like anything can happen at any day. You never know what's going to be announced no matter how like what they say. So, yeah.
It's, yeah, I think that this is I don't know why anyone would buy an Xbox in this next generation. I straight up
Yeah.
don't. You have to either undercut the price of this box, but even then it might be too late because all the people that want a at home console that has Steam on it, boom, you already bought one. Like I like
Yeah.
if your offering is the exact same thing, the people that are going to go and buy this product already have that need satisfied. So what's your offering? And the answer is Game Pass, and Game Pass
Yeah.
is too expensive nowadays, in my opinion. It's in a spot that you are not, consumers as a whole, me being one of them, are not okay with seeing a $30 charge on their debit card or credit card every single month. That is enough money where it goes, oh shit, I didn't use this month. I need to cancel it. $20,
Yeah.
not that big of a deal. 15, yeah, I'll play a game here in a month. Who cares? $30 is enough where it's okay, we got to figure this out. This is not going well. So,
Yeah.
headline: Sony declines to comment on PlayStation 6 plans and claims PS5 is, quote, only in the middle, end quote, of its life. This is Andy Robinson over at VGC. Quote, Sony was asked about PlayStation 5's expected lifespan and its plans for a successor console during an earnings call on Tuesday. In response, Sony CFO Lin Tao claimed that PS5, which has now surpassed 84 million sales, is, quote, only in the middle, end quote, of its lifespan, citing the high number of active users who continue to play on PS4 more than a decade later after its launch. Last year, Sony Interactive Entertainment said that about half of its monthly active users were still on PS4. Dale said in Tuesday's earnings call transcribed by VGC, quote, this year, in year 6 since the launch, PS5 has been growing its install base, and our view is that compared to conventional consoles life cycles and looking at the PS4 life cycle, it seems to be getting longer and longer, end quote. Just getting straight into it, is this Rogan? We've talked enough about this. When are we getting the PS6? What is your read on when we get the PS6? Me and Connor have had our predictions. This changes, in my opinion, my prediction. But where are you at with this? Where are we getting the PS6?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the like 2030-ish realm personally. I think what they're saying here makes a lot of sense. And like I don't know, even the conversation that we just had about the Steam machine thing, the games industry as a whole, these past like what, maybe 3 or 4 years, it's changed. It's like throw it all up in the air because like nothing is the same. It's completely changed. And this is kind of along those lines. There's so many PS4s out there, so many. And like you cannot understate that. Like they want to be able to serve those people because those people are still spending money in certain ways and they want to like be able to service those. And when you put out a new console, it's a slow ramp up to get to a place where you have enough of those in the households that you can like put even exclusives on them.
Yeah.
Like at that point you're gonna have to like service 3 different consoles that are wildly different power levels,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. I would love to have a PS6 sooner. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think that there's a major conversation that came up during this earnings call that has not been reported on. And I think that it is the GTA 6 of it all. GTA 6, we all thought was going to be out in 2025, and that's going to move so many people over to that PS5. You're going to be able to finally get those sales, not just of the consoles, but of all of the PS5 products that are those exclusives. Hey, you pick up your PS5, you pick up GTA 6, and you pick up Spider-Man 2. You pick up the other, like, whatever the next exclusive lineup is that you're finally excited to hop in on this generation. It's GTA 6. Also, just Astrobot. You get that next exclusive bump that you're excited about that if you've still just been waiting on PS4. I know so many people that still use their Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and it's straight up because GTA 6. Hey, I'm just gonna wait till GTA 6 comes out. I don't like. I'm still able to play Fortnite. COD still coming out on the PS4 for some fucking reason. Like, who gives a shit? Like, and yeah, that makes sense to me. So, I think that they want a few more years of GTA 6 console numbers for exclusives and such, where they're able to go and reestablish. And then when they go and release the PS6, it's like, okay, we're coming out with the next Kojima game. We're coming out with the next major product from Sony Santa Monica. That's going to get more people excited if they've already played Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok and some of the games that maybe they have not tried because they're not in the PS5 ecosystem yet. So you need that needle moving moment that, like, right now 84 million is very much on pace with PS4 numbers. I'm a firm believer that we are going to see console sales that break the mold of console generations and life cycles due to GTA 6. That PS6 isn't even on their mind right now. Step one, GTA 6. Step two, everything else. Nothing else is like on their radar right now. I've been in the boat of 2027 for a long time because they've continuously said, we believe in console generations. We believe in getting that next piece of hardware out. But if GTA 6 is coming out in November at the earliest of 2026, you're telling me you're only going to do a year of GTA 6 on this console and then you're going to put out the PS6? I think that that's bad business. I really do when it comes to getting people involved in your ecosystem. So 2030, I think is a little long. I'm closer to 2028 or 9 now, where if you ask me a month before just before GTA 6 got moved, I would say we're still on the 2027 timeline. Yeah. It is fundamentally changed at this point. This is the most important video game of all time when it comes to the business side. And I think that the biggest winner of this space is by far Sony. No one wants to buy an Xbox anymore. Also, PlayStation 5s are cheaper. You just want to get in on the ground floor, be able to go and purchase something, have it work, be good to go, rock and roll. That's what this is going to be able to do. And it's going to be a major needle mover in the future.
Yeah. How much is a PS5 these days in USD?
550, I believe. It got bumped up due to tariffs, but I also think that like 550, and they are willing to put it on sale during Black Fridays and stuff like that. I think that it's still, you can pick up a discless version for under $500, which once again, that $500 number I really do think matters so much in the conversation of console pricing, where it's like I see 650 for Xbox and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you are not providing enough. Is it the most powerful home console? Yeah. Are you providing enough juice when it comes to exclusive library, Game Pass? And it's like, no, you don't have it. Whereas, like, I'm like, there's only one place in the world you can play Astrobot. Game of the Year 2024 Astrobot. And that's on a PS5.
It's true.
So, yeah.
It's true.
I think that that's a major needle mover. Continuing on, speaking of the future, headline, I'm preaching patience. The Elder Scrolls 6 is, quote, still a long way off, end quote, Todd Howard warns fans, but teases a potential shadow drop. This is Wesley Yumpel over at IGN. Quote, the Elder Scrolls 6, one of the most hotly anticipated video games in the world, won't be out for some time yet despite being announced over 7 years ago, Bethesda development chief Todd Howard has said. In an interview with GQ magazine to celebrate the release of Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Howard said the Elder Scrolls 6 is still, quote, still a long way off, end quote. He added, quote, I'm preaching patience. I don't want fans to feel anxious, end quote. In January this year, the Elder Scrolls 6 announcement became as old as predecessor Skyrim when the Elder Scrolls 6 was announced. That's an insane thing to think about. Holy
That's
smokes.
mind-blowing, actually.
Skyrim was released on November 11th, 2011, and the Elder Scrolls 6 was revealed on June 10th, 2018, came 2,403 days after that. It is now 7 years and 5 months after the announcement, and we're no closer, it seems, to the release of the game. When the 6-year anniversary of the Elder Scrolls 6 announcement arrived in June last year, even Todd Howard paused to say, quote, oh wow, it has been a while, end quote. The Elder Scrolls 6 is at least in production, with Bethesda confirming it has entered, quote, early development, end quote, in August 2023, and early builds were available in March 2024. Quote, I like to announce stuff and release it. My perfect vision, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, is that it's going to be a while, and then one day the game will just appear, end quote, Howard continued. The Oblivion Remastered Shadow Drop was, quote, a test run, end quote, Howard teased, and, quote, it worked out well, end quote.
Wow.
Oh
Dude, this is a
man,
crazy the Elder Scrolls 6 is such an insane story. It's so funny how he's saying like, "Oh, I don't want fans to be anxious and, like, I want to release things like right away." It's like, man, that 2018 thing that you put out, like, why? Why would we do that? It entered early development, they're saying, in 2023,
3.
August 2023. Like, that's wild to me. 5 years after it sort of went into pre-production. That's
Nuts.
crazy.
The
Yeah.
Starfield of it all is flabbergasting to me, where it's like you took a risk, you want to do something new, great, that's fine. You just can't not have the guaranteed in the back pocket of something else. In Oblivion Remastered, it's a great idea of like, hey, let's get something out the door, and boom, you
Yeah.
got something Bethesda to enjoy 2 years after Skyrim, but not Skyrim, after Starfield. But now we're in a spot where it's like, okay, 2011 Skyrim, 2016 Fallout 4. You got Fallout 76 in the middle there. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Starfield is 7 years after Fallout 4.
Yeah.
2030 is when we're playing the Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
6. Like, and also,
So
shout out.
it'll be a launch title on PS6.
I think there's a chance it's a year or two into the PS6 life cycle, or 3.
Yeah.
Like, I think that if you're not trying to hit that initial launch cycle for a console, you give yourself the grace of time to develop and polish and be like, okay, we're going to be in the second wave.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the aftershock of console coming out. And it's like, gee, like,
Yeah.
here's, I found the solution. Okay, stick with me.
Okay.
Xbox doesn't release a console until Elder Scrolls 6 is like available and it's exclusive. That's how you're gonna. That's how
They're
you sell.
following the trajectory of the development of Elder Scrolls 6. Wow.
I mean,
Brilliant.
there's no reason to buy an Xbox because they don't have exclusives. At the end of the day, I'm starting to believe that more and more with the way the Game Pass currently is. But like, yeah, I think that it's a 2030 game. Are you in a similar wave of when you expect this thing?
Yeah, probably. I think that sounds about right. I mean, like, this is going to be a huge game. And it's interesting to me that it seems like Bethesda is like a one major title studio, and that like they work on one major thing and then maybe a side thing with like Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, working on that in tandem with probably while they were working on Starfield. Yeah, which is interesting, and it just makes it so that development timelines for a lot of their biggest IP are going to be super long. Unless they're sort of like changing that right now, which I think they probably should because Fallout is so relevant. So like, I don't know, maybe they're sort of starting to split off and being like, let's work on two major titles at the same time and see how that goes. I think that would be beneficial to them because I think both the next Fallout and this game are going to sell so many copies. Well, like there's the Game Pass of it
Yeah.
all, but there's going to be so many people playing both of these games.
Rogan Game Pass is not going to exist by the time this game comes out. That's like I don't know, dude. Like it's insanity to even think about. But I think that there is a world where that is the case. Or if it does exist, it's there's no longer Xbox consoles out there, and so you're really just harping on hard bottom line sales numbers of PlayStation, Steam Machine, wherever
Right.
this game actually comes out to. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it's gonna be a long time, and I think that the fallout of it all is nuts. Where it's like Fallout's still doing stuff with 76, and apparently 76 is now a decent time, and you got the anniversary of Fallout 4, and you got Oblivion remake, but like. I saw the trailer for Fallout Season 2 come out a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, this is going to be an awesome romp. I loved Fallout Season 1. This is going to be a great time. It's like, how do you not hit up Oblivion, go up the street, hit up Oblivion, and be like, hey, we need another Fallout game. Like, you guys can actually get games out the door in a couple of year timeline. By the time Fallout 3 comes out, Season 3 comes out, we need another one. We need a Fallout 3 remake from ground up. We need something that, like, I'm so shocked that they just have not figured this one out. I know that synergy always doesn't line up, but like right now, you look at what Nintendo's doing with the Mario Galaxy ports and remakes that they just released this October, and then you got the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out in April next year. I want to say, I get in the comments if I'm wrong, but like,
Yeah.
it's there's some synergy. You were able to do something with it. Would you prefer a major 3D all-in Mario game with the Mario movie? Yeah, 100% for sure. But like,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. So when you figure something else out, I'm so shocked that Microsoft is not in the Bethesda software studio being like, figure it out. Like, you need a Fallout game. Like, I don't care what like Elder Scrolls 6 gonna sell gangbusters, gonna be a major game. We're not gonna see it's gonna between Skyrim and this game, it's gonna be 20 years. People need to start
Yeah.
sitting with that. 20 years. We can joke about GTA 6 all we want. 13 years is very different than 20 years. Very,
Yeah.
very different. And in
Yeah.
that time in between, I know that you have Fallout and I know that you have Starfield, but it's like you gotta feed the audience at some point, and this is just a failure on a cataclysmic level, in my opinion.
A Fallout 3 remake in the style of Oblivion Remastered would be the thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's been rumored for like so long, right? But it would have been sick for maybe that to swap places with the Oblivion remake. I think that would have been perfect actually.
Yeah.
With game development, like it's so hard for like a brand new game to sort of like line up because like internally even when the game has not announced a release date, dates move like
Yeah.
so much, right? So it's like a brand new game would have been super hard to line up, but I think a remake, remaster, or whatever, it's basically a remake, right?
Yeah.
So like I think that would have been the move personally.
I think that they also is Fallout weekly. I want to say that it might have been weekly and now it's all dropping to once this season. I have no idea off the top of my head.
Yeah.
If it is weekly though, you want to know what would be great. And I know that they can't do it, but it's kind of deals with what he just said about the shadow drop of Oblivion. If you're able to find a way to shadow drop a Fallout 3 remastered at the Game Awards the week before the new season of Fallout comes out, or like
That'd be so sick.
shadow drop it on the day that the season ends, it's like you got to find a way. I like, my business brain just turns on and it's like, how do you not figure this out? You know what Fallout Season 1 is. It is a freaking hit by all accounts, critically and audience reception. Everyone's in on the show. It's Amazon Prime. It's one of their biggest properties, period, bar none. Walter Goggins, like, headlining, like, it's awesome. So how do you not, like, that happens January of last year. It's December, 2 years. You should have been literally, episode 1 comes out, you see those viewer numbers, you go and knock on the door and you say, figure it the fuck out. We need a Fallout 3
We're
remaster.
doing it now. Yeah.
Like
Phil Spencer's like, let's go.
Yeah, like just starts knocking skulls. Yeah, Phil
Yeah.
busting chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Or what about this? A Fallout episodic video game that you play just like Dispatch and the episodes drop weekly. That would be so sick.
That's the Fallout TV show.
I'm just Dispatch brained right now.
Dude, people need to watch that spoilercast. So good. It's so like
Yeah.
Man, what a video game. I've dialed in my score at this point, but I'm going to save that for CGC or short
Nice.
form or whatever. But yeah, what a video game.
So
But yeah, I think that they need to figure it out. And if they let this go by again, where you don't have another major Fallout beat in the next couple of years, like right now, 2025, 2026, there should be Fallout 3 remastered. 2028, Oblivion should remaster New Vegas. And put that along with season 3 of Fallout if that exists and comes out. 2031, sure. But you need to hit these beats where Bethesda's major IP is still stoking the fire. Hey, you love these games. You love what we do here. You love the storytelling. You love these worlds. Like, we still got it. Just get excited for the Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be awesome. Because as of right now, I don't have a ton of faith in that. As someone that didn't love Starfield. Where did you play Starfield? Where are you at with Starfield?
Yeah, I like Starfield
Okay.
actually. I'm on like I'm in the minority on that, but I like Bethesda RPGs. Like I don't know, the Bethesda jank is all there, and I see it clear as day, and I experience it clear as day. But there's, I don't know, something, it just like
It works.
it's the heart.
It works.
It just works. And Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. So
Yeah.
it's like, if that remaster came out in the style of the Oblivion remastered, like that would really get me going. I think like if they can line it up with season 3 of the show, let's say like season 2 does really well, I could see them lining it up with season 3, with them sort of like seeing the success of season 1 and being like, it's probably in development right now. Maybe they line it up with that because they had enough time, maybe
Yeah.
2 years at that point to
Yeah.
kind of like put something together.
By the way, I don't ever want a team to grind. I don't ever want crunch. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, how do you like you this is one where I think you just pay out the Bethesda team and you bring in more and more talent and you say we got to get the amount of bodies necessary to get this thing out as fast as possible, where you're able to do it in a healthy and functional fashion. Because like
Yeah.
I just keep on going back being like, you got to make it happen. Like this is it's almost like the I think you should leave bit where it's like there's got to be a way to make money off this. Like I like like it's
Yeah.
so obvious that like
Yeah.
there's gotta, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I really hope that they're able to figure something out and feed these fans in a way, because Elder Scrolls 6 is not getting any closer. And I assume that as we produce the show for the next 5 years or so, there's going to be probably another 20 Elder Scrolls 6 stories, and it's
Yeah.
all going to be it's coming out in a long time. It's not close.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's gonna be Todd being like, I don't want to make the fans anxious, and we're just sitting there like shoulders
Yeah.
like hands like,
Well,
you're already making us anxious, Todd.
that's the other part where he's like, I like the idea of just like coming out and like saying it. And I know that like this is part of it where it's like, hey, like we're not close. I'm preaching patience is the quote there. So it's like we're not close. I think that Todd needs to go away for a few years and not say shit, and then do the Fallout 4. You announce it Summer Game Fest time of year or Xbox Showcase time of year. You announce it and it's out in November, and you do it the
Yeah.
way that that like there's not a lot of juice in the industry, and that it might be one of the juiciest moments of like just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, talk about like just tossing a massive log on the fire and exploding what the industry is actually happening and doing right now. I got one more for you, Rogan. Headline: Elden Ring Nightreign DLC, The Forsaken Hollows, is coming next month. This is Jordan Miller over at VGC. Quote, Elden Ring Nightreign, The Forsaken Hollows will be released on December 4th and will include additional Nightfarers, bosses, and more, according to From Software. The expansion will add the Scholar and the Undertaker playable classes. According to From Software, the Scholar is, quote, an academic who walks the lands between, boasting impressive arcane levels. He gains incredible advantages through battlefield observation, end quote. And now moving to just further into the article, quote, 2 new bosses will be included in the expansion, according to From Software. Players who purchased the Forsaken DLC, the Forsaken Shadows DLC. It should be Forsaken Hollows here. The Forsaken Hollows DLC, before it release, will also receive the Elden Ring Nightreign digital art book and mini soundtrack, end quote. So we got a DLC here. Rogan, were you in on Nightreign at all?
No, I'm not an Elden Ring guy. I thought Nightreign was one that kind of like captured my interest a little bit, but I just like couldn't get all my friends together to get it. So yeah, I never hopped in. I'm not a Souls guy in particular, honestly. So
Oh, dude.
yeah, what about you?
We got to hit you up and get you in, man, because me and
Yeah.
Connor, so we reviewed this and we were before embargo and everything. We got to play this before it was out. And it's probably, as much as there's been excellent video games, much better video games than Elden Ring Nightreign that have come out this year by quite a bit. We do a Mulligan episode every year on CGC where it's like we gave a game a score. Where are we at with it now? Like, and like, do you want to drop it, raise it? Where you at? I'm lowering my Nightreign score. I'm actually going to probably lower it from a 9 all the way down to an 8, a full point, due to the fact that I've said a game like this isn't just the initial stint, and I'm okay with 40, 50 hours of playing. I need to hop back in. Give me a reason. Like the goal of this game is for you to hop back in. I want to say I'm going to hop back into this. I want to say that. I want to say that like I love this game and I'm super enamored by it, and it's so. Connor and I had some of the most fun we've ever had as two brothers ever, like playing this game. It was so much fun. With that being said, I'm not hop backed in, and this comes out December 4th, and I have a wedding on December 5th, and Metroid comes out December 4th also, and Unbeatable, the
Everything's
indie
happening.
game, is December 8th, and Game Awards, and I'm going to be streaming Hollow Knight Silksong and beating it right before the Game Awards, as I do every year. And if Blueprints gets nominated, I'm streaming that also right before this. So, like, there's so many moving parts where it's
Yeah.
like, this gets announced. I'm stoked. Do I have time? No. And that's the
Yeah.
end of it. And so, like, I'm excited about this. I am going to go and enjoy watching two of my favorite streamers, Lil Aggie and Parkin Harbor, who are Soul streamers. I'll have it on watching them play while I'm doing editing work or shooting out emails and interacting with the content that way. But I will not be hopping in, sadly. But if we do hop in, Rogan, if we do, we need a third.
I'm in.
I'm going to hit your
I'm
line,
in.
man.
I'll be so shit. It's crazy, and you guys will have to carry me
Dude,
through, but it'll be great.
It's funny, and once again, I don't want to like I forget most of the names. We felt so bad like playing this with some people,
Yeah.
whereas like some people we were reviewing this were like teams, like industry people's souls person doing it, so like they know everything about everything. And Connor are like, okay, like what are we doing with this? And they're like, how do you not know that, dude? Like, but it was very fun, very amazing experience. It's literally one of the like 2 years of Co-op 64, and I'm going to say this again on my top 10 list. It will land on my top 10 still because of just how much fun I had initially with it. 2 years of Co-op 64, top 3 favorite moments of reviewing a game by far was reviewing Elden Ring Nightreign with Connor. It's so much fun. And
Nice.
so if we need a third and we do find the time to hop in, I will definitely hit your
Hit me
line.
up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout
That's
out
awesome.
to the amazing people over on Patreon that make this show happen. Rogan, before we hop into it though, Rogan plays games everywhere, right?
Everywhere. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. This is fun.
Yeah, dude, it's so much fun. But yeah, thank you to all the people over on Patreon that go and make the show happen, that support this team in this stream. It really does mean the world to us. Shout out to amazing members like Max, Blakehead's Dog, Brent Bino, Cash R, Chaboy Jake, Squidalicious, Jakey P, Paige E, Pitch and Power, Library Daniel, Tyler, Sir Shellas, Raincoat, Ooh, Gracie, Truzar, MG Dunbar, Mr. Munchies, Farmer Spud, Rocket Tater, Nofi, Proto Dan, The Dankest Mike, Swampy Bits, Jaxie T, Tristan C, Scone CC, Stracken 1978, Das Goopy, Dinkelberg Rules, Censuro, Hook'em Horns, Go Nash, Neutral Sphere, Easton C, Kingdom Hearts Rules, Stooby Dooby, Crispy, DJ Zach B, Uli, Jacob D, Big Mac, Metal Nate, The Patty Cake, Bear Pog, Cowboy Jesus, Mega, Yogi, Damn, Holden M, Colin C, Brock, Voodoo, Milky Sins, Alex Golden, Andrew H, Master Days, Cannon Fodder Games, Only One Rufus, Drifter X1, Skirt, Goops, JMappy3, Ali Benali, Bikel, and Kingdom Hearts Sucks. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We will see you in the next one. Peace out.